Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 origin continent based on novel. So let's start. Huyang City, the city lord's mansion allocated a separate compound covering tens of thousands of kilometers for Luo Feng to reside in. The cultivation chamber, within the Star Tower. Luo Feng sat cross-legged, wholeheartedly sensing his true god's heart. As his miniature universe expanded to a diameter of trillions of light-years, the true god's heart connected to it grew increasingly strong and resilient, with a steady flow of primal chaos, divine power pouring into the true god's heart. True god's heart, primal chaos evolution, Luo Feng thought, and primal chaos divine power surged within the true god's heart, gradually forming a space that expanded and eventually solidified into a defined primal chaotic space. For a cultivator of the law lineage's primal chaos realm, transforming a primal chaotic space was a very easy feat. Luo Feng's own primal chaotic space was broader and more stable than that of others at the same level of the primal chaos realm. Boom tilde tilde tilde, a massive amount of primal chaos divine power flooded into the godly body, causing Luo Feng's godly body to begin its metamorphosis. For my godly body to grow to its limit, it seems it will take a very long time. Luo Feng felt as if his godly body was a dried-up desert, instantly absorbing any amount of primal chaos divine power that came its way. Thankfully, my miniature universe has a very high efficiency in consuming energy and converting it into primal chaos divine power, Luo Feng mused silently. His miniature universe was the perfect form among miniature universes at his level, with an inherently high absorption and conversion rate. Furthermore, time flowed 10,081 times faster in his distant homeland compared to the land of origin, so the divine power he transformed every moment was naturally immense. If it were an ordinary primal chaos realm cultivator absorbing this divine power, in less than a day in the land of origin, their godly body could grow to its limit. But for Luo Feng's perfect divine body of the primal chaos realm, this influx of divine power caused not the slightest ripple, being silently absorbed without a trace. Divine power has become 100 times more pure, Luo Feng could feel the changes within. With 100-fold purification of divine power and great increases in physical size, coupled with an overall elevation in realm, he was indeed far stronger than he had been during his eternal true god phase. I wonder, after my godly body reaches its limit, how big the gap will be between me and Marquis Liu Yin, Luo Feng contemplated. As for the perfect divine body of the primal chaos realm, there was no record of it in the land of origin, and the strength it could attain at its limit was something Luo Feng could only guess at for now. On the surface, among the various primal chaos realm cultivators in the Shi Kingdom, there are nearly 10 who possess unlimited godly bodies. Marquis Liu Yin does not possess an unlimited godly body, yet his strength is ranked within the top 5. First, focus on cultivating secret techniques, Luo Feng decided as he felt the slow growth of his godly body, then cast aside all distractions to begin studying the secret techniques that could be cultivated at his primal chaos realm level. For normal primal chaos realm cultivators, the first secret techniques studied are always those that save one's life. Why would a godly king condescend to acknowledge the primal chaos realm? Because even a godly king cannot guarantee a complete kill of a primal chaos realm cultivator. The foremost life-saving secret technique of the primal chaos realm, Reincarnation secret technique, Luo Feng studied in detail. The Reincarnation secret technique uses a secret technique to protect a sliver of the true spirit for reincarnation. Upon death, a sliver of the true spirit will follow the supreme rules and naturally undergo incarnation through reincarnation. By relying on the Reincarnation secret technique, there is a hope to maintain memories during reincarnation. According to the records of powerful beings who have reincarnated throughout history, whether reincarnation can retain memories or remain conscious depends on one's spiritual will. A godly king's will can remain fully conscious. It is already conscious in the fetal stage and possesses complete memory. Therefore, after birth, it can quickly cultivate to recover its original strength. The primal chaos pinnacle will can generally retain the complete memory within a sliver of the true spirit, but when it becomes conscious is uncertain. It may awaken during adolescence, or possibly only upon becoming a true god of void space, or even an eternal true God, before gaining access to all memories. As for a weaker spiritual will, even the memories will be incomplete, and the chances of awakening are so low as to be negligible, with no awakening to past life memories in a lifetime. This also signifies the complete annihilation of the previous life. Just a hint of consciousness in the primal chaos realm is enough for reincarnation. And with many life-saving secret techniques, even godly kings cannot ensure a clean kill of a primal chaos realm cultivator. Luo Feng was well aware of this. The not-so-powerful school of the Duan Dong River lineage in the land of origin had the Undying River secret technique. Some more formidable and extensive lineages have even more life-saving secret techniques. As long as one does not die instantly and can reincarnate immediately, after reincarnation, the connections to past causes are severed, becoming a new creature. From the outside, it is impossible to discern the former identity. A godly king will also establish his own domain and have many concerns, and will not easily create such a formidable enemy. This is also why godly kings show a modicum of respect to primal chaos realm cultivators. In the land of origin, occasionally there arises a genius that swiftly climbs the ranks, even some who become newly minted godly kings, Luo Feng thought, but in reality, these rising existences may well be some old geezer who has reincarnated. For example, his master, the mountain-sitting guest, had already reincarnated. Like the godly king ancestor who established the Heart Shadow sect, or the third-generation ancestor of the Duan Dong River lineage, all publicly known information has them as having fallen. But if they didn't die completely and a sliver of strength quietly reincarnated, keeping their identity hidden, who would know? When cornered with no way out by terrifying enemies, one can reincarnate to change identity, completely severing ties with the past. Because of the reincarnation secret technique, nearly all ancient godly kings have unlimited godly bodies, Luo Feng thought. By relying on reincarnation, one can compensate for the shortcomings of their godly body. Of course, reincarnation has some flaws, such as uncontrollable reincarnation identities and extreme vulnerability. During the fetal stage, an embryo, with an extremely weak soul, even if it comprehends the law of primal chaos, the strength it can exert is far less than a mere sliver of a divine power incarnation of a primal chaos realm cultivator. At this stage, it is very easy to die. Thus, those who dare to reincarnate proactively usually reach the godly king tier in terms of their realm. A godly king, at the very least, commands one branch of the origin great Tao. With a single thought, they can form complete universal operational rules and can open up a universe of their own. Merely by relying on the complete universal operational rules, they can make the supreme laws retreat. Their survival ability and strength far surpass those of the reincarnated ones from the primal chaos realm, and their risk of reincarnation is also extremely low. I hope I never have to use this reincarnation secret technique, Luo Feng mused, as he certainly did not wish to be reincarnated. Once reincarnated, his miniature universe would perish, and countless humans within it, except for an extremely small number, who could be protected and sent to the primordial ancestors' miniature universe, over 99% would be annihilated. Moreover, his divine power incarnation would also be annihilated, unable to contact his family. Nor could he observe the great Tao of life origin. The soul enslavement on Morosa would also dissipate, and Morosa would become a free sector beast. Only in a desperate situation would he choose to reincarnate. The reincarnation secret technique is not difficult, Luo Feng found, having learned the technique after spending 3 days on it. This secret technique, whose creator is unknown, has a very low level of difficulty to practice, and can be learned by almost every being in the primal chaos realm. Any force with even a slight background has records of this secret technique. Primal Chaos Great Strength Diagram, World-Breaking 9 Blades, Duan Mie, Dong Hua, Lai Yuan Technique. Let's start comprehending these one by one. Luo Feng calmed his mind and began researching these secret techniques. To the south of Yu Kingdom, there is a vast lake with an island in the center. On the island stands a city, larger in scale than even Huyang City. Whoosh! The divine power incarnation of the Marquis of Zhujiang appeared in the sky, overlooking the simple, majestic city. This city, composed by moving a great number of mountains, was bustling and prosperous, filled with countless citizens. The Marquis of Zhujiang flew into the city, invisible to the ordinary guards, and silently reached a cave mansion within. "Brother Yang Yu," the Marquis of Zhujiang said with a slight bow. The door to the cave house opened, and an old servant spoke, "Marquis of Zhujiang, please." The Marquis of Zhujiang immediately entered, and inside an attic of the cave mansion, a four-armed man was sitting there carving a city model, his carving blade leaving secret patterns onto the model. As he carved the model, identical secret patterns appeared out of thin air on the city walls of the large lake island city. The Marquis of Zhujiang smiled as he watched from the side. After a long time, the four-armed man put down the carving knife and looked towards the Marquis of Zhujiang. "What's the matter?" "Brother Yang Yu's skill in array formations is simply astonishing. Within the entire land of origin, there are very few in the primal chaos realm who can match you," the Marquis of Zhujiang flattered. "It's nothing," the four-armed man replied, a hint of a smile on his face. "Just say what you are here for." Search *the novel_fire.et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. "Brother Yang Yu is aware that my fief borders Marquis Liu Yin's," the Marquis of Zhujiang said, shaking his head. "Marquis Liu Yin is too domineering. He has now sent troops to snatch my entire Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture. I am no match for him, so I had to seek help." "That's quite pitiful," the four-armed man nodded. "Brother Yang Yu, if you help me, you only need to speak up, and Marquis Liu Yin will surely retreat obediently," the Marquis of Zhujiang suggested. "Although he's fierce and domineering, he wouldn't dare to offend you." The four-armed man shook his head. "If I intervene, but Marquis Liu Yin doesn't give me face, then wouldn't that be awkward?" "He wouldn't dare," the Marquis of Zhujiang insisted. "Brother Yang Yu, you are a direct disciple of the Emperor, he wouldn't dare to disrespect you." Emperor is a special title, only granted to the supreme rulers of past generations of the flame-wind ancient country. Every emperor possesses unfathomably powerful strength, and the flame-wind ancient country's reputation has been personally forged by these emperors over generations. Apart from the Thunder ancient country, no other power would dare to provoke an emperor. Even the pinnacle sector, beast of the Qianmu kingdom, would be eradicated if it challenged an emperor. A direct disciple of an emperor, nostalgia flickered in the four-armed man's eyes. Being taken as a direct disciple by an emperor in the flame-wind ancient country was his most dazzling moment. Back then, he was ambitious and even envisioned himself becoming a godly king one day. But as endless eons passed, he became more insignificant. Ultimately, he chose to leave the flame-wind ancient country and establish a city on this secluded lake, living there alone. "Among the direct disciples, I'm the weakest, at the peak of the primal chaos realm," the four-armed man said with self-mockery. "I'm not even confident I can defeat Marquis Liu Yin head-on. Zhujiang, I can't help you." In his agitation, the Marquis of Zhujiang pleaded, "Brother Yang Yu, are you so concerned about a mere Marquis Liu Yin? Without a fight, how can you know if you can't defeat him? Without a fight, how can you become stronger?" The four-armed man's expression darkened. "Leave now." The Marquis of Zhujiang felt the world around him shift, and when his vision cleared, he found himself already back in the Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture. "With such a high-level mastery of arrays, I don't believe Marquis Liu Yin can defeat you. It's a pity, you're just too timid. Everyone who comes to ask for your help, you refuse to leave the city," the Marquis of Zhujiang lamented. Watching the city model in front of him, the four-armed man picked up the carving knife and continued his work. "When I become a godly king, that will be the time for my return," Yang Yu thought, looking at the city which was his most dedicated work. When this large city was carved to perfection, that would be the moment of his ascension as a godly king. Having become a primal chaos realm cultivator, Luo Feng only left a divine power incarnation outside, while his true body was engaged in dedicated cultivation within the Star Tower. "Reaching my current realm, I have come to realize the shortcomings of the two lineages I've inherited," Luo Feng sighed softly. "My mentor, the mountain-sitting guest, did not bestow upon me a godly king-level inheritance. Clearly, my mentor did not think I was suited to follow the path of artifact refining. The Du and Dong river lineage, however, my third-generation ancestor did leave behind 3 godly king-level inheritances, Du and Mie, Dong Hua, and Undying River, but all these were paths that the ancestor himself had tread. What I need is a godly king-level inheritance in the law of life and the path of destruction. For an eternal true God, the pursuit is to master the laws of primal chaos, Luo Feng thought, so choosing any few inheritances would be very suitable for oneself. But for beings in the primal chaos realm, they have already mastered the law of primal chaos, and what they need next is to comprehend the origin great Tao. Luo Feng sensed the heavens and the earth. He could glimpse the many origin great Taos faintly hidden behind the chaos. These origin great Taos, combined, form the supreme rules. The supreme rules dictate the operations of the entire world. A suitable godly king-level inheritance. I don't have a single one. Luo Feng had no choice. If it were another top eternal true God, faced with the recruitment of the monarch of Yu country, they probably would have submitted to apprenticeship long ago. With the monarch of Yu country's status, he could grant his disciple a suitable godly king-level inheritance. My godly king-level inheritance can only rely on Emperor Chu's lineage of the flame-wind ancient country for now, Luo Feng considered. Now that I have become a primal chaos realm cultivator, I wonder whether Emperor Chu Yu has made a breakthrough. He needs to break through before he can recruit me as a guest elder. Luo Feng calmed his mind and refrained from overthinking. Without a suitable godly king-level inheritance, I can only begin with some suitable inheritances for primal chaos realm cultivators for the time being. The primal chaos great strength diagram demands increasingly higher artifact refining skills as it progresses, and the resources needed for the fourth refinement of my perfect divine body will also be incredibly vast. I am too poor. I simply can't afford the cultivation. Luo Feng had already half given up on this technique. On the one hand, the upper limit of this inheritance is not high. After all, it's only a technique at the level of the primal chaos realm. On the other hand, the demands for artifact refining skills are too high. At the stage of an eternal true God, with my talent and guidance from Shong Qianyang to resolve my confusions, I was still able to achieve 3 body refinements. But at the stage of the primal chaos realm, the artifact refining skills undergo a qualitative change, and I don't plan to spend too much effort on it. Another key point is that the resource requirements are far too great. The resources I struggle to earn should be spent on Emperor Chu's lineage of the flame-wind ancient country's inheritances instead, as good steel should be used on the edge of the knife. The world-breaking 9 blades is worth practicing for a longer period, as this blade technique is also in the direction of the path of destruction. It's a pity that it's only a technique at the primal chaos realm level. Luo Feng put some effort into studying it. The world-breaking 9 blades in the primal chaos realm consist only of 3 blades. They are primal chaos blade, heaven and earth blade, and world-breaking blade. The final style, world-breaking blade, seeks to break through all spatial layers, utterly shattering the entire world, creating a crack in the braided cage. Unfortunately, the world-breaking blade can only break through most of the spatial layers and still can't break the cage. The entire technique, world-breaking 9 blades, can only represent the creator's pursuit. Even for a godly king, breaking the braided cage is not an easy task. Luo Feng continued his meticulous research. Having reached the primal chaos realm, even the space of inheritance from the Duan Dong River lineage is of little help. This inheritance space primarily aims to cultivate disciples into eternal true gods. It would already be a miracle to cultivate a primal chaos realm cultivator. As for going even higher, the space of inheritance only offers some information and guidelines. Inside the city owner's mansion, in the villa where Luo Feng resided, Morosa was eating roasted meat, and looking at Mo Yu Qingyang not far away, he couldn't help but curse. How can you be so foolish? Not even the basic laws do you comprehend yet. Compared to your master, your talent is lacking by who knows how many times. I dare not compare myself to my master. Mo Yu Qingyang could not help but say, actually, I'm only 1 step away from the time law now, and within these more than 30 epochs of time, nearly grasping the 10 fundamental laws. I think that's not too bad. Shut your mouth. Morosa scolded angrily. Don't you think about how much effort I've put into teaching you? The time law alone, how many times have I explained it to you? It must have been over 10,000 times, right? You fool. Moyu Qingyang quietly listened. He was very grateful to Lord Luo-sa in his heart. After all, his master had not given him guidance for over 30 epochs, but Lord Luo-sa had patiently guided him time and again. Only recently did he learn that Lord Luo-sa was also a powerful eternal true god, even stronger than Commander Moli Xiao and Shui Yun, a protector of his master. That such a strong person would provide him with long-term careful guidance, Moyu Qingyang was very touched. Usually, a mentor would not be so dedicated. In his heart, Moyu Qingyang had already begun to regard Morosa as his mentor. Crunch, crunch, an irritated Morosa quickly devoured the roasted meat. Morosa, come in. Luo Feng communicated telepathically, and then moved Morosa into the Star Tower. Naturally, Morosa offered no resistance. Inside the Star Tower. Master, did you call for me? Morosa chuckled, in front of Moyu Qingyang. I can hit and scold as I wish, but in front of the master, I must be cautious and humble. I want to see just how big a gap there is between me, a newly advanced primal chaos realm cultivator, and you, a deeply cultivated primal chaos realm cultivator, Luo Feng said. To compare with me. Morosa couldn't help but say, Master, you've only recently made your breakthrough, and your godly body is still far from the limit. Such a big gap, why compare? I know I can't win. I just want to feel the gap, Luo Feng said. Upon reflection, Morosa said, I won't burn any divine power or use any primal chaos realm moves, and I'll just rely on my body to compare with the master. This way, I should be able to exercise about 10% of my strength. If divine power were to be burned, his strength would soar by several times over. And if he were to use secret techniques, there would naturally be an increase. All right. Luo Feng showed no mercy. With an outstretched hand, the blood shadow knife appeared in his palm. Boom. Luo Feng executed an all-out burning of divine power with Duan Mie, utilizing the skills of the primal chaos laws that he was still capable of learning. It was just that the more advanced techniques were beyond his ability to master. Come on, come at me, Morosa confidently beckoned. In an instant, Luo Feng swung out a primal chaos blade light, which even severed the operation of the primal chaos laws. Within the area covered by the blade technique, the primal chaos laws were already cleaved apart, opening up a deep, dark rift that cut through several layers of space. This strike was also the first blade of the world-breaking 9 blades, within the primal chaos realm, the primal chaos blade. This blade, based on the primal chaos laws and containing some mysteries of the destruction origin, was still rather elementary. Luo Feng had managed to master it after spending just a little time on it. But the second and third blades of the sequence were far beyond Luo Feng's current accumulations in the field of destruction, making them much harder to practice. Phut! Morosa reached out with his plump hand and forcefully resisted Luo Feng's strike. His palm skin slightly indented, effortlessly dissipating the power of the blade. Master, that's quite powerful. If it were twice as strong, it might injure me, Morosa shouted. That shouldn't be the case, Luo Feng said, puzzled as he sheathed his knife. Why have you stopped, Master? Morosa asked in confusion. Luo Feng shook his head. I haven't broken through for long. That strike was the maximum strength I could muster. Search *the noelfa.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Morosa blinked. He had already said there was no need for a sparring match, but the master insisted on proceeding. Now that the master is somewhat embarrassed, would he take it out on him? That shouldn't be the case, Luo Feng couldn't help but say. Although my godly body is far from reaching its limit, my divine power is quite pure, surpassing that of a normal primal chaos realm cultivator. This blade with maximum burning of divine power, how could it not even break your skin? If Morosa used a body protection secret method or burned divine power, Luo Feng would find it quite normal not to be able to break through his skin. But to not even break it with a mere 10% of strength. Would that mean that even if Luo Feng grew to his limit, he would only barely be able to injure Morosa? Well, that's because, Morosa began to explain, I'm not a normal cultivator, I'm a sector beast. My body naturally trains to be incredibly resilient, far surpassing any body refinement technique the master has. That's why the master couldn't break my skin. Morosa had always looked down on the master's body refinement methods, far surpassing my body refinement methods. Luo Feng could understand. After all, Morosa was a being born with a complete grasp of the destruction origin, so it stood to reason that his body training method would surpass the primal chaos great strength diagram. With no precious materials consumed, how do you refine your body? Luo Feng inquired. Master, what is body refinement? Morosa looked at Luo Feng. For instance, the most basic unit of your cultivator's bodies is divine power. For sector beasts, it is the power of sector beasts. How to more efficiently combine divine power to greatly enhance defense, strength, and speed, that is called body refinement. There's more than one method for divine power to combine more efficiently. The so-called refinement of the godly body, as if it were a weapon's secret treasure, is merely one path. Morosa looked at Luo Feng. I don't need resources. I just need to alter the structure formed by the power of sector beasts in accordance with the enlightenment from the origin of destruction to naturally make the entire body stronger. However, this method is not suitable for you, Master. I am a sector beast, containing a realm within my body. This is the body refinement method that nurtures realms. Morosa explained. Luo Feng then understood. Indeed. The essence of body training is making divine power combine more efficiently. And treating it as an artifact refining is just one of the paths. Let me have a look at your method, Luo Feng requested. Sure. Morosa extended his hand, strands of power of sector beast flew out, beginning to combine, but even if you watch, Master, you won't be able to practice it. This body refinement method is based on the core of a realm. The seemingly common power of sector beast combined intricately, and such structure was so beautiful that Luo Feng marveled at it. Just like many grains of sand combined to form a weapon capable of tearing through the starry sky. Changing the most fundamental structure eventually makes the whole body very strong. This process doesn't require consuming massive resources, merely a combination of the power of sector beast. This is much more sophisticated than refining the body into a secret treasure. Marvelous, Luo Feng exclaimed. I've heard that some ancient godly kings had unfathomably mysterious godly bodies. They probably did it in a similar way. Morosa's such fine body refinement techniques had only been a subject of hearsay to Luo Feng. His master, mountain sitting guest, and those of the Duandong River lineage, also only had some records about such inheritance, which was considered very precious even among the godly king-level inheritances. This path is one I can try. Luo Feng felt instinctively that he could replicate Morosa's sector beast power structure to a degree of 70 to 80%. The main issue was his lack of a realm, and not being as advanced in the path of destruction as Morosa. But as a perfect divine body, with the ability to be formless and intangible, he could transform at will, even divine power into the power of sector beast. He could fully mimic and learn, drawing experience from it. This video will end here.